Welcome to Absolutely Abundant, a podcast for soul aligned creatives. I'm your host, Julie Goetzinger, and this is episode 39, Embracing Change. I'm not sure if you've been following me on my journey or not, but I have been definitely stepping into a lot of change recently. And this is the perfect time to embrace change because I'm filming this on March 24th, 2024. So we're getting ready for that full moon eclipse happening tomorrow, March 25th. It's the first one of 2024, and then we have another one on April 8th. And this is a really big time for massive shifts and changes. And I like to be proactive, and I like to be the one that steps into change rather than just walking blindly into it. I like to prepare myself for change. And some of the ways I do that is by, first of all, taking really good care of my body. I go through a cleansing process to declutter my body from anything that's low vibrational. So that could be sugary foods, alcohol, things that would bring my energy down. I eliminate those things. So that's the first step. And then what I do is I start decluttering my space. I declutter my work area. I straighten things up. I clean. I let go of objects that I no longer need. I donate them. I sell them or I purge them. And then I start looking at my relationships. Who am I connected to online? Who am I spending time with in person? The friendships that I have, the clients that I have, my family relationships. I take a look at all my relationships and just take an assessment. Like, how's it going? You know, am I staying in touch with people? Am I being patient? Am I being compassionate? And I do all of this before things like the eclipse happen, because when the eclipse happens, it's like this massive wake up call to let go of anything that's standing in your way from what you've been asking for. So if you've been asking for more money, you've been asking for your love partner, you've been asking for a new home, well, the universe heard your request. And in order to step into that, there are things that don't match up with that. There are thoughts you're thinking, there are objects you're holding on to, there's relationships you're holding on to that you cannot simply keep if you are to step into this next version of yourself, and this next version who has what it is that you're asking for. I actually wrote about this whole process in my book here, Free to Fly, Manifest the Life of Your Dreams. And I walk people through a 21-day challenge where they can look at those areas. They can look at decluttering their body, their workspace, their home, and then their relationships. I actually decided to do a group coaching course that I'm calling Manifest, to give you that support as you walk through those stages. Because first of all, when we look at our body and the foods we're eating, our patterns around when we're eating, what we're choosing to eat when we're stressed, it can bring up a lot of emotions and a lot of past memories, past trauma, things like that. So I thought that it would serve my community to coach people through those letting go processes and shine that flashlight for you as you start to look at your relationship with food and with your body. And then we get into decluttering, which I think is really fun. I love letting go of things. I love cleaning out my spaces. I love being organized and neat. And that's something else that people can see what they're holding on to. So for instance, you might be holding on to past gifts from, old relationships. Maybe you had a hard ending with someone and you're holding on to an object that is a representation of that energy you had. Maybe there was a betrayal, or maybe there was something that was deeply painful to you. By holding on to that object, even if it is a gift, it can keep that energy around you. So that's the next stage, is that we let go of those things. And I help you through that as well. And then we're going to take a deep dive into your relationships. We'll start with your personal relationships, love connections, client connections. Like, how are you showing up in relationship? Is there an equal balance of give and take, or are you over giving? Are you feeling like others are leaving you out in the cold, not being there for you and you're always there for them? That's the next stage that we'll look at. This program is a really good precursor to my abundance breakthrough retreat. So I am going to credit anyone who decides to join Manifest to apply that cost towards the cost of the retreat, because it's really powerful to do both programs. Manifest is all online. It's going to be virtual, and we're going to meet Monday starting April 15th, 2024. And I am going to launch this before my retreats because I feel like it's a great preparation for the retreat itself, because then we're going to take that deep dive into money, into your relationships, and into your how you see time, how you schedule things, what are your boundaries around your schedule, things like that. So I will put a link below if you're interested in Manifest or the retreat. And like I said, if you do both, Manifest will be credited towards the cost of the retreat. So a little bit more about, what I'm doing with this purging process myself is I'm actually getting ready to move into Airbnbs, and I decided to embrace a house-free lifestyle for a while. And I was sharing this with my mom, and I was a little afraid to share because I didn't know what she would think. And, I'm in my 40s and I still care what mom thinks, of course. And I was like kind of scared, and she was like, "Oh." She's like, "That's great, honey. Like, how long are you going to be doing this?" And I was like, "I don't know. I don't know." That's the whole point of it, is that I'm going to be trusting my intuition, and I'm going to follow where it leads me. I actually booked an astrocartography session for myself, which is when they take your birth chart and they look at different locations for you to move or spend time in these different locations, and can predict what you might experience in those locations. Like, certain locations are really good for finding a match in love. Prosperity lines. Actually, my prosperity line goes through DC, which is pretty close to where I live. So maybe I'll be moving closer to there at some point. But it's really cool. And I decided to go on this journey and just pack up my stuff. And what I'm doing right now is I am gathering together the things that, well, first, that I know I'm going to need, like my personal things, like obviously toiletries, things like that. That comes last, like that's a given. But I'm gathering up my things that I'll need for my podcast, because I plan to do that, as I'm traveling around. All of my spiritual tools, my books, things that will enhance me for where I am now in my life and going forward, bringing very minimal, decorations, things like that. Pictures of my children, obviously, my dog's coming along for the journey. And other than that, everything else is going into storage, or I'm donating it or purging it. It's a really great cleansing process to look at, why am I holding on to this object, this old reward from something that I did in my past, or something from a trip that I took that wasn't a great trip. Maybe I had a negative memory about it. Why am I holding on to a picture about it? Gifts from ex-partners. Why am I holding on to those things? So this is a great time to really assess, like, do I need these things going forward? And as I step into my next love partnership, is this something that I would want to be in our home? Would I want to bring in something that was a gift from an ex-partner? Probably not. So I'm being really mindful of that. And I'm also open to knowing that this could be a short journey. This could be a long journey. I have no clue how long it's going to be, but I'm going to trust myself and my intuition. And that's really that's what I wrote about in my book here, Free to Fly. That has been my greatest gift, is my ability to tune into myself and to trust myself. And whenever I get to a place of I don't know, I do seek guidance in other intuitives and other healers, of course, because it's easier for them to see, because I have my own blocks and resistance. But ultimately, I trust myself. So no matter what I hear, what I'm told, I still will tune into my own intuition and ask the accuracy of it, or I'll ask for more guidance around that. Is this true for me? Is this something you can illuminate more for me? Like speaking to my angels, my guides. That's how I follow my intuition. And so if you're interested in doing that, tuning into yourself more, trusting yourself more, check out our Manifest program, our online program that starts April 15th, or join our retreat, our Abundance Breakthrough Retreat. Both of those places, we will be clarifying the vision on what's next for us. So claiming those goals in front of a group, making it really clear what it is that we desire. and then being honest about what needs to be let go of in order to allow that to come through. So this is a really exciting time with the eclipses. The eclipses are all about change. And how can we embrace change more? Well, I shared a little bit before that I like to, I do follow the moon cycles. So whenever you get to that full moon, that's a completion. So something wanting to come to a close. Eclipse is like intense, massive change, powerful change. And so don't launch anything new when you're about to have a full moon or an eclipse, especially. But wait until afterwards to officially launch something. You can mention things, you can tease things, you can talk about them in business like I just did with Manifest. But Manifest doesn't start until April 15th, which is after that second powerful eclipse. So they're predicting massive world changes happening. And for my business, especially, my business thrives in times of chaos. And I've embraced that. I understand that, that when things are going smooth, when everything's just like going along, my business isn't as busy. But when things are up in the air, when things are shuffled up, when people go through massive change and transition, that's when things pick up for me. So I need to be ready for that. So I need to take really care of my body. I need to take very good care of myself in preparation for that change, which is what I'm doing right now. And the other thing is with the new moon, when the new moon comes, that's new beginning. So that's time where you can launch something new. And you don't have to wait until a new moon, but it helps to use the energy of the moon for when you launch things. You also, want to pay attention to the seasons of the year. So winter is a time for hibernation, rest, renewal, to prepare for the spring, like to, start thinking about what you want to plant in the spring. And then spring is when your seeds start to grow. So your past intentions will start to come to the surface. That's when things start to manifest. And then we get to summer, and summer is all about enjoying the fruits of your labor. So that's when things blossom, things bloom. It's bright, the longest days. People want to be out. They want to be socializing. They want to be having fun. It's the time of like freedom and expression. And then we get to fall, and fall is harvest time. So that's time again to start planting for winter. So preparing for winter. And then again, we come back to winter, which is about rest, renewal, hibernation, going within, renewing your resources. So when we push too hard in the winter, then we can feel like nothing's working. But it's about like, are you using the energy of nature and of the natural cycles to your advantage, or are you pushing through and getting annoyed, upset that your manifestations aren't coming? So the key is just to be aware of what season is it, just in the seasons of nature, but also what season are you in? Are you in a time of renewal, rest, recovery, or are you in a time of, outreach, socializing, expression? Because it's important to tune into your own body for where you are and wait until that inspiration sparks before you jump, before you take action. Because when you force it, when it's not fully ready, that's like, wanting a baby to come out early. You don't want the baby to arrive before the 9 months is, the gestation period is complete. The baby comes too early, and then it becomes a dangerous situation. Then it becomes, the baby's premature, and there's more things that have not been developed yet in the baby. So your ideas, your manifestations are the same way. So it's not about like tricking the universe or anything like that, or coming up with like secrets to manifest what you want right now. It's about tuning into your body, feeling into your body, and also noticing the season you're in and the season that nature is in as well. And then embracing change is just like being for the ride. Like it's a ride, like ride the wave. And nobody can tell you how to get off that wave. You're not supposed to get off the wave. Like you're on the wave. So the part of the wave that you're in is perfect, is exactly where your soul meant to be at that time, intended to be at that time. So if you're in a dip right now, it's not about how can I get out of this dip as fast as possible. It's about being in the dip. Right now, I'm in a dip. Right now, it's hard. Right now, this is really challenging. Right now, I'm not sure what's next. I feel like I'm in the dark. And then when you start to come up and you feel that energy lifting and being lighter, then that's the natural cycle too, is naturally coming back up after you've been down. And then you get to the height of the wave and it's like the top and you're like, oh my God, like I thought this day would never come. And then it goes down again, and the next cycle begins. So embracing change is, to me, it's all about riding the wave and be where you are, fully embrace exactly where you are. Know that whatever's happening is serving you, whether you can realize it right now or not. And you don't need to bypass it. You don't need to learn all the lessons when you're in it. You're not supposed to learn all the lessons when you're in it. When you're in it, it's supposed to feel bad. It's supposed to be uncomfortable. But then once you allow it to fully process and pass through you, and alchemize is how we refer to it in the spiritual community, you alchemize it by feeling it, by allowing it, by embracing it, and embracing all of it, and feeling all the emotions, feeling all the frustrations, all of the joy, all the pain, all of it, like embracing it fully is embracing change. And then you also get the rewards of coming back up and feeling that, celebration again, and knowing that you're never alone. And even when it seems like things aren't working, they're always working out for you. Things are always working out for you. And the wave always comes back up again. So I would love it if you would share with me in the comments, what have you been going through? Are things starting to shift and change in your life? Are you moving? Are you switching jobs? Are you, starting something new in your business? Let me know in the comments below. And if you feel like this video could serve someone that you're thinking of as you listen to this, please share the video with them. If you could like the video and subscribe so you can receive more of our podcast episodes, I would greatly appreciate it. I am going to be sharing more about my journey as I head out and move to my first Airbnb here shortly. Where we are right now is we're listing the house, and I'm going to start showing people around the house, and I've already started to plan out where am I going first. And it's super exciting, and I love for you to come along for the ride. So make sure you subscribe so you're notified when I release these videos. And thank you so much for being here. If you're interested in working with me further, check out the links below. Manifest starts April 15th, and our abundance retreat starts April 18th. It took me a minute. April 18th, 19th, 20th is our abundance retreat. Manifest launches that Tuesday, April 15th. All right, thanks for being here, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.